and welcome back to Pop Therapy. I am so excited today because I have an expert, as you will have just heard, joining me today to talk me through the juggernaut that is Love Island, and specifically Love Island USA. So Danielle, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Yana, for having me here. It is totally my pleasure and so excited to get into all things Love Island.
100, like I am going into this show completely blind, and I thought I had a PhD in reality TV. I have watched everything that has ever existed from, the last 20 years on VH1, on MTV, on E, on Bravo. Like there was no stone unturned. But for some reason, I just never got into Love Island. I don't know what it was. It was like maybe I was being put off by everyone saying like how many hours of a commitment it is. And I was like, am I like too old for this now? Like maybe this is a young person's game. Like, and I just never picked it up. And then for some reason this year I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And I came into it almost a week late. So I had about 7,000 hours to cram in because I was like, I can't be behind. If I'm going to watch this, I can't be watching weeks at a time. And from the first episode, I was like, holy shit, like what is this show? Like so many questions. So you have watched everything. You were saying to me in our messages, like this is your like Super Bowl of reality TV.
Yeah, I think I've been watching this show for at least 15 years. Of course, it started with the UK version. Thank goodness for streaming. That's the way I was able to get into it. But it started from the Molly May days, and then you go up to Ekin-Su and Davide, which is a really great season. So God help you if you do go back and watch some UK seasons. I mean, it's wild that you're a lover of reality TV. So to have those fresh eyes going into Love Island is such a treat. But yeah, I've been watching it forever and then was excited when the US finally got on board. But it started with CBS and different hosts, and then they got a different host, and then Peacock took it over, and then finally Ariana was the host of it, and then that really changed the game.
Okay, so has the show like really exploded since she came on board?
Yeah, it exploded her season primarily. Not that the other seasons weren't good, but it just wasn't becoming a part of pop culture. And no one knows pop culture or can make a pop culture moment such a juggernaut like the Bravo TV fandom. So coming off of Scandival, and then Ariana, getting her dream position of hosting the show that she wanted her then loser boyfriend to watch with her, and he just wasn't down for it and said he was down for, cheating on her with their friends. She got her dream position, so everybody was rooting for her. So I think you have all those Bravo accounts that understandably cover everything religiously. I think that really helps propel it, along with amazing characters from her first season.
So I have to admit, I was actually one of those Bravo fans that really started to pay attention once Ariana got cast. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like a massive thing. But there was a part of me that was like, oh, maybe it's, I don't know. Is it for me? Is it just like, horny influences? And do I really want to watch that? But like clearly, I mean, I know it's had like different iterations. And from what I've been kind of looking at with this new season, it seems like maybe they've gone less of the influencer route and they're sort of using more normal people this season. Is that kind of
I would
intentional?
say that. That is
Okay.
definitely a good observation, and that is a good change up because I do think that production and casting was listening to the people who was not happy with last year's really when they went heavy influencer. It wasn't any
Mm,
previous seasons that the US, maybe it's different for UK, but that the US never went heavy influencer except for last season where I want to say 75% of the original cast, they were all influencers.
really?
And
Okay.
that, I think, exploded in their faces in the worst of ways. It made the show not what it was meant to be, and it made it more a game. And then because of that,
Mm,
some of the best and legitimate couples were voted off early because they were just playing a game because they wanted to get to then to get those influencers. So I do feel
okay.
like they listened this year and they're going back to the basics with less influencers. So I'm appreciative of
Okay.
that.
Okay. So I have no idea about the format of this show, right? So like everything is a twist and turn that I'm like, whoa, oh my God, oh whoa. I could not believe that we already lost Sean and Bea in what felt like the
Yeah.
first 5 minutes. So like is this the way the show goes? Are they just going to keep bringing in bombshells and recoupling every couple of days? Like is that
Oh,
kind of how it
yes.
goes?
And just wait until Casa Amor. Your head is going to explode when Casa Amor gets here. But yeah,
Okay.
with Love Island, there's definitely a lot of twists and turns, a lot of recouplings, bombshells coming in. I'm surprised there actually hasn't been a new bombshell in a while, but maybe because Casa Amor is right around the corner and they wanted the couples to get a little bit stable. I would say also from season to season, they do switch up the formatting a little bit to help keep you on your toes. For example, this season, there's not normally that much making out in the
Oh
first
my God.
episode. So
Okay.
that must have been a jump scare for you. Obviously, it's Love Island. There's a lot of making out and a lot of sounds you don't want to hear from the making out. It's a little bit too much at times, but I feel like they did go a little bit more hardcore with make out challenges as compared to less
Okay.
seasons. And maybe because they were dealing with less influencers. So they wanted the show to
Hmm.
be spicy. I'm not sure, but I did notice that being a little bit of a change this season. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's Makeout Central,
it
so you
is.
better believe they were giving out Listerine strips to all of the
Oh,
Islanders like
really?
crazy. Yes.
I was wondering about that. Like it's like a giant orgy. Like they're literally
Yes.
having to go. But this is the thing that I'm thinking about. On Married at First Sight in the UK and in Australia, there's a lot of controversy at the moment. There have been contestants in the UK who have claimed,
Oh, I heard about
for
this.
YouTube, I can't say the word, but like severe SA,
Mm-hmm.
from grooms to the wives. And, in Australia, they're talking about um, violence, SA, all kinds of like terrible things, and
Yeah.
everything's being investigated. And there have been sponsors that have been pulled out, and the whole format is under intense investigation at the moment. And so I worry that a show like Love Island is also putting themselves at risk because they're maybe they're not telling the islanders to do this, but it's
Mm-hmm.
clearly encouraged. And even if it's like they're being told, look, you don't have to do anything, but surely there's an unspoken pressure. They're in a competition environment. If one of the girls is grinding on the guys and making out with them, maybe the rest of them kind of feel the pressure to do that as well, even if it goes like against what they're actually feeling. And I just wonder, like, how much of it is they really all want to do this because it's like their real connections seem to be forming. And
Yeah.
I don't know, would I want to be like humping every guy and like acting out a porno in every group challenge the way that they are when I've got feelings for one of the guys? Or would I feel the pressure of like, oh, well, this is what we have to do because everybody's doing it? You know what I mean? It feels a little bit like, whoa.
I could see that. I do. And not to say that they know what they're signing up for, but it is a little bit of that. But also think about Summer House. You see how friendly and close and how they sit on each other because they live and breathe. They share a space together. But then you bring in the Islanders. They're living and breathing in a house together for 4 to 5 weeks. They are lucky if they get 4 hours of sleep a night, and it's sporadic hours of sleep. You have no music, no TV. That's like their only excitement that they have while they're filming a challenge for 4 to 6 hours. But I'm sure there are definitely some that probably feel pressured. I've never heard, though, any cast members say that they felt pressure while in bed by production to do anything like that. I have not heard that. I do think, though, that there was a situation maybe 2 or 3 years ago where a female did feel pressured and he was gone. There was no mention of what happened to him at all. He just was gone, kicked off the show.
Wow. Okay. So that's good that at least they're handling it in real time. But I wonder if, having these challenges be so intense and like even like for the like that giant bed that they had, and they had the guys all chained up and the girls all blindfolded. Once I'd seen like 1 or 2 of the girls, I was like, oh my God, they've gone and had to do this to like 6 different guys. And then I was like, oh my God, there's still 4 more girls. Like I've still got to watch this 4 more times plus the bombshells coming in. And it honestly for me felt like, and I am no prude by any means, but I was just like, whoa, this is a lot. This is a lot. And this is like hours of making out and grinding and, it just felt like. Oh, there we go. The Love Island ghosts didn't like that I was questioning the heaviness of that scene. But like are we expecting like that it's going to continue to be this sexually intense at every.
Oh, definitely. Every other episode is going to be sexually intense. I mean, every season there is a blindfold challenge. Not on that large of a bed. I don't know how they didn't win a Guinness World Record for that bed. How they made it. Was it even comfortable? I am dying to know that. But there will be, again, Casa Amor. That is coming up on Tuesday of next week, where the girls and the males, they are in separate houses full of bombshells of the opposite sex for like 2 to 3 days.
I did not know that's what that is.
Yeah. Whoa. And then there's going to be another sexy dance moment too, where they have to do like sexy lap dances for each other. So there's definitely a lot more to come. But I'm excited for you to see Casa Amor, though.
God. Okay. So this is a lot because and also maybe it's like, again, I'm showing my age, like I'm 40.
We're the same age.
Like, okay. So like these kids could literally be my kids. Yes. And I'm watching them all in these like tooth floss bikinis. Yes. They're literally naked. And then
they look like beautiful, by the way, but
they look amazing. They're stunning. Like, oh my God, their bodies are incredible. And they're the most beautiful people. Like, it's such a gorgeous cast. All of them. I think the men are beautiful. I think the women are beautiful. Like, it's not. Yeah,
it is a collectively really great cast.
Yeah, like I was saying to Dana, it doesn't feel like often you watch these shows and they look so blown up and influencery and Instagrammy, and these
That's the
just look
UK
like,
version.
right, okay. So these ones just look so gorgeous. I love the diversity. I'd love to know more about their backgrounds. Like we heard
Yeah.
briefly, Corbin said he was Jablasian, and like we know that there's like I think Melanie said she's Dominican, but like I would love to know about all of their backgrounds. I feel like I'm not really getting a lot of who they are in all of this.
I agree, and I don't feel like it was always like that. I felt like before
Okay.
we used to hear more of their conversations, and that is something that the UK does lean more heavily, I can't even say the word, heavily on, pardon me.
Yeah.
But I don't know why the US feels like they're shying away from that more and more so digging into the competition. It's not meant to be
Yeah.
MTV the challenge. It's okay to have competition, but I think like you, everybody else would want to hear more of the backstory. So it is kind of good though in the After Sun though. We are able to
Yeah.
get more of that backstory, which typically we didn't get that in After Sun, but I totally agree
Okay.
with you.
Okay. And like, can people come back? Because I would love to see Bea come back. I just feel like she was a firecracker. I just thought she was so good for the show.
Yeah,
Could they
people
come
can
back?
come back. I mean, there was
Okay.
one season, I think it was season 5, one of my favorite male Islanders, Bergie, who just got married to the person he ended or no, just got engaged to the person he
Oh,
ended the show with. He did leave early on, and he was one of the most authentic, normal men to ever be on the show. And I think that's the reason why
wow.
America loved him so much, but
Okay.
they booted him off. But Love Island brought him back, where he ended up being a Final Four couple. He ended up also going on to the first US Traders as well. So he really thrived after that. And then last year,
Amazing.
Nick and Alondria was going to get booted off, but they brought them back too.
Oh, okay. So do you think it's like production listening to the fans and thinking like, or thinking, oh, this would be messy. Like we could bring Bea back to, like get back in there with her guy and, blow things up a little bit? Or are they like, well, we've actually got all these other bombshells that, you know, will probably do the same thing? Do you know how it
Yeah, I
works?
think sometimes they would do that. Although I would love for them to do it this time, I don't think that they're going to. I know Bea is already home. She's practicing again on the track. So I don't think that they would, and in large part because Gabriel, he is an F boy. Let's be real. So as soon as he goes into Casa Amor, that is already going to
Yes.
cause drama with Jen, I think that's her name,
Yeah.
the newest female bombshell that he's with. That's already going to
Yeah.
cause some drama, but I would
This
be here
this
for it.
connection, this connection with Gabriel and Jen, I just do not get it. Like, and in fairness to her, maybe there's so much to her, but we've been shown literally nothing. She just
Mm-hmm.
seems like she's just there, and he's now like all into her, and I don't understand it. Like we got the connection. I love that they would speak Spanish with each other, Bea
Yeah.
and Gabriel. And like I felt like that was like his reaction, just like sobbing and sobbing, was like it really got me. I was like, bring her back. This is not fair. Like it's
I
too
know.
soon. You know?
I was sad too over her leaving, not necessarily for him, but because I loved her and what she
Mm,
brought to
yeah.
the table. But I think the thing with Gabriel and Jen is that they are both attracted to each other. They're both horny for each other. They
Yeah.
both live or have that Miami connection. So I do think that
Yeah.
they're thinking probably about the social media influencer game afterwards. And
Yeah.
that would be very convenient for if it was
Very.
to work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could be
And you know
wrong.
what? You're right. Like he'll probably have his fun on the show and then they'll connect in real life and we'll see them out together and surely they will get hot and heavy, you know. But I
Mm-hmm.
think what I was going to say before about being older and, being able to be any one of these people, most of their mothers, like I can't believe how much they're doing on TV. Like, and they're not, there seems to be, and maybe it's because a lot of them, their frontal lobe hasn't even like finished developing yet, like genuinely. But,
Yeah.
like Kater and Zach and like going and being so blatant about what they were going to do. And he seemed so scared about it. But like, it's all on camera. And I know they're not showing us everything, but somebody is filming that porno and that exists somewhere, them actually fully getting into it. Like I always used to watch Big Brother and like the most exciting part was when people hooked up. And in Australia, there's this kind of famous scene of the dancing doona, which like we call it doona sometimes, like, the covers.
Okay.
And, there was some action happening. So they were calling it like the dancing, the dancing doona scene. But like, no one was like out publicly talking about what they were going to do and how they were going to tear each other apart and having a cupboard full of sex toys. Like it's clearly very much encouraged. And I cannot believe how much these people are willing to do. Like, don't they have parents and like colleagues and, distant relatives and not to mention the general public? Like, how do these
Yeah.
people have no shame about what's going on?
I don't know. I think that the cameras just start to blend into them that they don't realize, but they have to know that going in. I do know that some of them get sneaky and they try to go into the bathroom instead.
Ah,
But there are microphones built into the headboards.
oh my God.
Additionally, I know that they don't keep the footage. They do record over the previous tapes because they're constantly filming. There's no
Oh,
way they can keep all of that footage
okay.
when they're filming 24/7, six
Yeah.
days a week because they get one day off. And
Okay.
so I know it's hard to say. And then
Wow.
crazy thing though is that room, the hideaway, is actually where Ariana stays.
What?
Yeah, that is where she stays, why she's there. So the
No
time when
way.
Islanders get to go in and is when she is away. But yeah, that is
What?
actually her room, is the hideaway where all that action takes
No
place.
way. I mean, that is like
Yeah.
A, kind of gross for her, and
I'm sure they
B,
clean it really good, hopefully.
I know, but like, why are they
Yeah.
not putting her up in a hotel? Like, that's crazy. She doesn't need to be on site, does she? Like to come out for an hour every few days? Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
I don't know.
And do you think her boyfriend comes and stays with her there? Like,
I think sometimes maybe at the beginning or at the end. I have seen him go out there for all of the
okay,
seasons, not for the whole entire season, but for definitely for portions of it.
okay. I did meet her and her boyfriend when I was in LA in Feb. I went to the Golden Crappie Awards,
Oh,
and
lovely.
yeah, and so I'm good friends with Chef Zarina from Below Deck. So
Oh.
we let the guys know that I was going to be bringing her, and they were like, "Oh my God, we'll get her to do like present something." So then we got to be in the green room at the awards, and I met her there, and like I have to say, I was a bit disappointed. She wasn't that friendly,
Yeah.
you
Well, now that
know?
makes me think of Ben and Ronnie's "Is Ariana mad at us?" like little skit that they
Yeah,
have. They used to have that skit. But yeah, no, that is always disappointing when you meet somebody that maybe you appreciate on TV and it's just
yeah,
not the experience that you wanted. I've
yeah.
definitely been there.
Yeah. And, like, it's not like I was like being a weirdo. Like we were in the green room together. It's not like we were out in public. And it was like clearly if I'm there, like I obviously know Ronnie and I've been to Ronnie's house and like, you know, like there was obviously a reason that I was there. So you would have
Yeah.
thought, like, I mean, she wasn't rude, but she just was not really engaging very much. I was like, hey, Ariana, I'm Yana. I'm a podcaster from Australia. Nice to meet you. You know, and she's like, hey, you know, it just was like a nothing.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
It is, especially because everyone else like was so nice and just, you know, it was like we were all in it together. My buddy Ryan Bailey was there, so we were hanging out and you know, the new cast of Vanderpump were there, and I had met them all a couple of nights before at a Vanderpump screening at Sir, and so that was kind of like, oh, hey guys again, and like it was a really good vibe in there. So it was just a little bit like, oh, Ariana.
Well, let's just blame it of her not being happy with being around the new Vanderpump crew.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that could be true. Like, who are these guys? You know?
But maybe that is just who she is.
Yeah. And look, she has now like risen so high. Like, she is kind of like, you know, a much bigger celebrity than a lot of the people on Bravo now. Like, truthfully. Okay. So that aside, I cannot believe Ariana stays in that room. Whoa. So, and also like, so you're telling me this coming week, everyone's going to be taken to a separate location with hot people, and they just
with hot people that they need to couple up with.
Why they have to couple up with them?
Well, because they're going to. You have to share beds with somebody. There's not enough separate beds for everyone. And then you still have all those make-out challenges. And there's going to be a challenge where they will win a party. One of the houses will win a party based on how good they do on this truth or dare challenge. And it's like crazy makeouts, you know, the shortest male needs to make out with the tallest female from each house.
Oh my
Whoever
God.
does the best makeout, you know, they win that round. So aspects like that is coming up.
God. Whoa, this show
and then,
is like
when they reunite, they have to decide, do they want to stick with their new person or go back to the old person? So it is the most explosive recoupling of the season. And that's probably where we're going to get some of our most talked about moments too.
Oh my God. Okay. I can't believe it happened so quickly. Like this feels like...
I don't feel like it normally happens this quickly.
Okay.
I feel like they're a week ahead of time for it. And I don't know if it's because some of the couples are so coupled up and haven't really tested it out. I know. But again, they try to switch up the format every season to keep us all on the toes and to keep the Islanders on their toe in case they're trying to watch all the previous seasons and play the game.
Okay. So what is like the goal here? Like how does somebody win Love Island? Like would some of them be thinking, like is there a strategy to be the winner?
Well, you want to make it to the end, and the final couple wins, I think, 100,000 at the end. And it should be split between the two, but there is a chance that one of the individuals in the couple can steal it from the other person. That hasn't happened yet in Love Island history. I don't think it has happened yet.
Whoa.
Knock on wood. I could see it happening if like Gabriel maybe made it to the end, or Corbin too. I could totally see Corbin taking the money. So you want to make it far for that, and you want to play to the public's opinion, because the public does have a lot of pull, you know, with the various voting throughout time.
So does the public vote who wins?
Yes, they do vote who wins.
Oh, Oh, wow. So it's completely up to, well,
Yeah, the
American
final
voters.
winners, yeah, is up to America.
Wow. This is reminding me, I wish I remembered the name of the show, but years ago, there was a show, was it called Paradise Hotel?
Oh,
And
yes.
it was kind of like this, where they would go and be taken to paradise, and then they would be coupling up. And the idea was like there'd be a winner at the end. And there was this one couple where this girl, Sharla, um, and her partner won, and she took the money and she didn't share it with him.
Oh,
But it was the same thing. They kept bringing new people in, and like the public could vote and get people out. And they had this
yeah.
thing kind of like called Pandora's box, where, it would be like terrible challenges and things that would, trip them up. And
No, now I'm remembering it was a Netflix show. I think it was like a Netflix show
was it?
or
I don't even,
something.
oh my God.
Yeah,
This is
I'm
like
getting,
so long ago. I've got to look it up. Oh my God. I'm
or
sure it
maybe
was
I'm
called
getting confused with a Netflix show.
Paradise Hotel. And it was hosted by this a British woman, TV show. I'm looking it up, everybody, because here we go. Paradise Hotel, 2003. That's how far back
Oh,
we are going.
well,
Oh my
that would
God.
be a
It was an
good
American reality
rewatch.
TV. A group of singles live in a luxury hotel resort, competing to see who can stay in the hotel the longest. Each week, the contestants pair off into couples and must share a hotel room together. One person is left over, and he or she must either pair up in the following episode or leave the hotel to be replaced by a new contestant. And then oh yeah, Kristen Cavallari became one of the hosts towards the end.
Wild.
I'm
Where
telling you, this
was I
show
for
was
that?
so good. It was so good. And I wonder if Love Island is kind of based off this.
I could see that because I do feel like when that was on, then Love Island US started soon
Ah,
afterwards. I wonder if they were both
okay.
on the same channel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was such a good
But
show. So that, I mean, like, even knowing that I watched that, why did I not just get straight into Love Island? I must have had
because it's such a commitment.
it is. It
Watching
really
6 days
is.
of TV, I said it's my Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
I had such crippling anxiety when the season started, especially recapping it on my podcast. I'm like, oh
Oh my
goodness,
God.
am I going to be able to do this again? Do I want to go back into it? So it
Yes.
actually took me 3 days to start watching it and get my head right
Oh my
because it
God.
is such a big undertaking. And if it's a show you
Yes.
love, you want to be able to enjoy it without like jotting down all of the
Yes.
notes. It's a big
Yeah.
undertaking, but hey, it's the summer. What else do
Yeah.
we have to watch? And it's a good
Yeah.
distraction.
I mean, the problem is Bravo has been like really juicy lately. We've had the Summer
Yes.
House and the Amanda and West of it all. We've got
Mm-hmm.
In the City, and we're still looking at all the Easter eggs there. We've had the aftermath of the Summer House reunion, and that's been going on. And then we've had Southern Hospitality reunion, and we've had like things have been kind of big and wrapping up. And to be honest, I have had to kind of put all of Bravo on the shelf a little bit while I've tried to catch up. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for this pause that we had. In my world, it was yesterday. And so is that going to happen every week? Is there every Wednesday going to be no Love
Yes.
Island?
No
Oh,
Love Island on Wednesdays, and then
okay.
I think you can guarantee every Saturday is when the After Sun show is. So that
Okay.
is technically a little bit of a breather, but I do think Sarah and Tuffy do such a great job. And they get into
Amazing.
probably some of the deeper conversations that you're dying to get into. So it
Yes.
is worth actually watching. As compared to previous years, they would do like corny little skits and
Oh,
they would just, I don't know, they would just feed into the audience. And I don't know, I just really like the direction that Sierra and Teffy went. But again, that can be a little bit of a breather day if needed.
Except that I'm like streaming it through a specific platform that is not Peacock. And so like they well, because I was catching up, it was just like there already. So it was like then the next episode and the next, and then I watched After Sun. And I just, like I was saying this to Dana on our episode earlier in the week, I cannot believe how amazing Sierra is on this show. Like, I have never seen her more alive, more dynamic, like energized, so much personality. Like, it's the most alive I think I've ever seen her before. And like, this was made for her. She is clearly like riding this high of, you know, the love and the opportunities, and she's killing it, I feel.
Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, she lights up. And that was similar to when Ariana first appeared on the show, when Sarah Hyland was the host, and she just hosted a game. But I never saw Ariana so happy, where I'm like, my lady Cleo, pretending, you know, I'm a psychic and all, was predicting that she would be the host. And that ended up happening. So I could see that with the way that she lit up. But mind you, Sierra lights up in a totally different way, and I do think that she's going to take her hosting career a lot farther, especially knowing the presence that she was having before the scandal with hosting all of those major red carpets.
Yeah.
But I'm happy she's able to take it deeper now with getting into some deeper conversations and questions that a lot of other hosts might be too afraid to ask.
Totally. She brings a depth. It's not like just fluff. A lot of these kind of after shows are so often just like yawn. Like sometimes I feel like even the Bravo kind of after shows, like, you know, Beverly Hills, I didn't even watch any of that because I'm like, first of all, they were so boring this season that like, what more could you possibly say? I have no interest, you know? But like this just feels like, we're getting so much more depth. You know, she's talking about race. She's talking about, you know, things that matter. Like not just like, so like, how did it feel kissing Kenzie? You know what I mean? Not that I'm saying necessarily that's what they were doing before, but
no, that was probably what they were doing before though. So you're spot on. I think another really important thing that they are doing, which is going to help with viewers, especially with all the issues that came about last year, is that they are showing what happens to the Islanders when they get booted and they get their phones back. How is that reaction? And they are tackling what is the biggest controversy that the public is talking about. It is so important for us as viewers and spectators, and then these accounts that maybe get more popular because of hate. It is important for them to see this reaction and how it actually affects the person, how it affects their family. So hopefully that, you know, deads some of the conversations or speculation that shouldn't be happening. So I just think that that was one of the best things to come out of this season of Love Island so far.
Totally. It feels like they're looking after the cast in a way that we don't typically see with reality TV. And, you know, I've talked about this before, but I mean, the hatred online, like the Bravo sphere can get so toxic. And people do not hold back. And so I imagine it's similar in the Love Island world. And it feels like they've taken really big steps with, you know, managing the social media accounts of everybody. It feels like they've wiped a lot of stuff. Nobody can be tagged in anything. Like, that's incredible.
That has not happened in previous seasons. So that is new this season. But the good news is even before that, Love Island is all about therapy. They get therapy while they are there. And part of their contract is that they have to have weekly therapy for a year. So they will have a Zoom call with the Love Island therapist. for a
Oh my
whole year.
God.
And for some of the Love Islanders, they still talk to their therapists, like Bergie, who appears with Ryan Bailey very often for their weekly recap. He shares
Yeah.
a lot of that as well. So it is really good to know compared to
Amazing.
so many other shows out there. And you know all the shows, you watch all of them.
Yeah.
They don't offer that type of support. And I'm not saying that Love Island is perfect. I'm sure that they have their flaws, but
Yeah.
at least that they do offer that therapy.
Well, that's right, because I know certainly from the UK stories, there have been a number of people that have taken their own lives,
Yes.
reportedly due to the pressures and the, horrors of public scrutiny and what
Mm-hmm.
happens to people, on social media. So that is incredible to hear. And by the way, where do I get that job? I've been a therapist for 20 years. I would love to be the Love Island therapist. Although
I don't know. Let's manifest it.
let's manifest that. But I may have to stop watching it then as a fan, because I'm not sure that would be ethical.
You'll have more time in your schedule then, so it's a win-win.
That is true. My life will be back. Okay, so let's talk about some of the cast for this season. Like,
Yes.
what's your take? Where are you sitting with everybody?
I will say this is one of the few seasons where off the bat I really like everyone. However, I don't like Corbin. I don't like him at all. I just feel like he's in it for a game, and there was just a lot of rumblings about him and comments he's made about his preference of women that just doesn't sit right with me. Not that I try to feed in a lot with the speculation that's online about the Islanders, because it's unfair. You don't know who's just like popping out of the woodwork to make up lies, and it might be somebody that they don't even know. So I try to take it with a grain of salt, but I'm seeing his reactions on the show, which is making me think like it's true. When a gorgeous black woman is coming up to kiss you on that big bed challenge, why are you having those weird looks like, ugh, like I don't want anything to do with you type of looks on your face? I'm not here for that, but I love the cast. I mean, some of my favorites were booted off, like Sean and Bea, but I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite couple yet, because I don't know if anybody is really stable. I want to say Casey and Ania, but I just feel like he's going to switch it up when he gets into Casa Amor. Some of these guys they look like they're dead in their eyes, and they're just going with the flow until something better comes along. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the cast?
Well, I feel the same, but I feel very naive, because obviously it's my first season, and I have loved them all. I'm like, oh my God, this is like an amazing cast. They're all really interesting, even though we don't know a lot about them, like personality wise, it has felt like a really good mix of people. It's not just like, a one note kind of cast. And, I think like the way people have changed in my eyes, like at the very beginning, Kenzie was one thing where she was like, I just want somebody to like chase me like a gazelle, and like they're a lion. And it was like almost like we had this backstory of her like never being chosen. But really we'd only known her for 24 hours. And now she is like this vixen, and like, oh my God, the sexual heat between her and Corbin, like when they were secretly in the bedroom, that was like palpable sexual energy. And I was just like, whoa.
Oh, like, her poor parents.
I know, like so intense. So much so that I'm like relieved that she and Corbin are back together in a couple, because I just feel like they need to get this out of their system. Like they gotta really like rock this one out,
Yeah.
But I like her. I think she's like really kind of quirky and funny in her own sort of way. Sincere, agreed. I loved. And I just don't know now. Like, are they just not showing us conversations that he's having with people, or is he completely duplicitous and maybe like too scared to be honest with each of these girls? I was so shocked that he went back with Melanie after the way that he was behaving with Soul, like telling her like, it's just like better and better every day with you kind of thing, and like almost like, I don't know, almost giving her the sense that they're falling in love. Like,
Yeah,
is it the
I
edit?
agree. I
Like,
think
what
it
is
could be
going?
both. It could be both. Because, for example, when Sean left, he's been doing interviews and he was saying, he would pull Ania for chats every day. We didn't get to see
Wow.
any of that. We would have
Whoa.
no idea of that. So there are definitely conversations that we don't see because
Yeah.
of the storyline that production is going for that day. So it could be a little bit of that. And my goodness, he's one of those characters where I go up and down of how I
Yes.
feel. Cause it's like one
Yes.
day I'm rooting for you and I know why you feel the way you do because Melanie needed to get it together, which she has. I've
Yes.
loved how far her growth in this short amount of
Yeah.
time, knock on wood, I'm very
Yes.
impressed by. A lot of female Islanders would have crashed out, and they have in the past,
Okay.
but she's holding her cool. But I don't
Yeah.
know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I was surprised by that last recoupling. I thought he was going
Yeah.
to choose Soul, so I'm
Yes.
shocked.
So shocked. Like, I audibly gasped. I was just like, oh my God, there's nothing in her letterbox. Oh my God. Like
Shocking.
that. And again, it could be the edit. Like maybe his
Yes.
face was really giving everything away. But the way we saw it, he was just like, nothing at all. And then, you don't see the anguish of like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, Soul, and like
Yeah, I
mouthing something to her,
know.
or like it was just like stone cold in the cut that we saw. And so I would love to know the truth of conversations that they were really having. Like, did he
Yeah.
say at some point, look, I'm really torn. I'm really not sure what to do. I still have feelings for Melanie and I'm loving where this is going, but I'm not sure, or is he fully telling her like this is what it is and
It could
then
be
switching it?
that. I don't know. It could also be production being like, hey, try to make this go a little bit longer. I don't
Yeah.
know. It can be a combination of things. Because I do
Yeah.
think that they do try to nudge Islanders to
Okay.
certain Islanders. And then at times they will also they'll be like, no, you can't speak to that person today. They will do a little bit of
Whoa.
separation. That happened 2 seasons ago with Leah and Miguel, who they were the second runner-ups. But they wanted to get together a lot sooner in their season, but production was trying to keep them separate. And now they're still together.
Oh my God. Okay. So are there physically producers on the ground? Do you know? Or do they get like Big Brother, like over the loudspeaker,
I think it's both.
Sincere, go to Soul Ties, you know?
I don't think that they get told where to go necessarily. I think that they probably
Okay.
do have check-ins, but when they are doing something that they should not, a sound will come over the intercom telling them to stop
Okay.
doing XYZ.
Wow. And what do they do on their day off from filming? Like, do you know?
I guess what they do is they do tourists. Like, I think they do get to visit different tourist spots, but they're not really allowed to talk to each other at all during their off day because they want to save any of that conversation for camera. But I think by law, you have to give an off day. So they really keep them separated. Same thing if the Islanders are having lunch during lunchtime when there's catering. they keep the males and the females separate. They're not allowed to talk during
Wow.
lunch because they're not going to be filming people, while they're eating. So they try to
Yeah.
keep all that conversation separate.
Okay. And has making breakfast for the girls always been the thing? So they just
Yes.
know
Although
they
there's
have to do
normally
that.
more avocado toast. I don't see that much of it
Okay.
this year. But yeah, that has always been a thing
Okay.
across franchises. And that is because that is the only meal that they cook. That's the only
Yes.
meal for
Okay.
themselves that they are responsible to cook. Every day is their breakfast. Their lunch and their dinner
Okay.
typically gets catered in, but there will probably be towards the end of the season a competition where the men have to cook a dinner for the ladies. But
Oh,
besides that, those
wow.
other meals are
Okay.
catered. So
Okay. Oh my God. So it's really like got hints of like The Bachelor where we're keeping the girls, separate from the guys and they're not able to have any of those kind of secret conversations about like, you're really the one, but I'm just going to play the game here. They're really keeping everything.
sometimes, I don't think it happens every time, but there has definitely been situations where they have tried to keep certain islanders apart because maybe it doesn't fit again with their certain storyline. From what I heard is that they will have, various whiteboards for the day of here's the storyline we're going with. And then at the end of the day, they just
Right.
erase it and they just start over with fresh eyes of
Whoa.
what direction are we going? Because so much happens in 24 hours. You can't,
Yeah.
it's not like with a Real Housewife season that you can strategically map out in your head the direction. There's just too many
Yes.
variables for it.
Yes. Okay. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Okay. So with the other islanders, like we've got, I did feel sorry for this round of bombshells that came in
Yeah,
because it really did feel like, I mean, apart from Sincere and Soul, there really were no other ins anywhere. Like nobody was really, everyone was kind of clinging tightly to their couple. And maybe
I
that is why
agree.
they're bringing,
Yeah, Casa more
Casa
sooner.
Amor in
Mm-hmm.
sooner. But like, in terms of those couples, like we've got Anaya and KC, which seem to have this like 2-episode drama of, you know, something that was said by Zach in one of the games that, maybe he wanted to explore and he was being held back. So like it became this entirely massive kind of nothing. Like Anaya was she sort of kept saying she wanted to be first. But in the first conversation they said, he was like, you are never my backup. Like you are my first. And then for the next 24 hours, it was like, I just want to be his first choice. And it's like, he literally said that to you. So like, you guys are actually fighting about nothing. And
I agree. I think Zach, whose brother was on last season, he is playing a game too. He's playing the game
okay.
of, let me try to seem like I'm going to stay in a committed relationship. I'm going to go to Casa more. I'm going to F around and find out because you need that drama. To win Love Island, you need to know that that couple really went through some and he's going to try to do
Ah,
that. And then on top of that, he's trying to take out his competition, I think. I think he's trying to put little
wow.
seeds in doubt with a lot of, nothingness to cause drama
Wow.
between the strong couples. I really think he's doing that.
Wow. Okay, I had never even considered that. Cause like even when Zach says to Kato, like, oh well, I hope a bombshell doesn't come in and like to me, I feel like Kato is the best, most amazing girl he's ever seen in his
Yep.
life. And he is like completely besotted with her. But then it doesn't feel honest when he's like, well, I hope a bombshell doesn't like, because he has been so anxious when other bombshells come in and you see the truth
Right.
of his feelings, like, oh my God, like, I hope she's not like, oh. Um, And now that like it seems like their connection is secure and he's had that kind of reassurance from her, it feels fake that he's kind of going like, oh, well, we're still technically open, like I feel like he's
Yeah.
just projecting or trying to do, or like he's afraid that she's potentially going to get swept up by a bombshell, because she's honestly like an amazing catch she is. He's very
Yeah.
lucky that she's
Personality, smart,
yes,
looks, the whole package.
yeah, totally. So I think he knows that, and it's like his own fear playing out, coming out of his mouth. Like, I don't think he is going anywhere. Maybe he'll fake a connection for the show,
Yes.
but like, surely he is hoping and praying that he gets to walk out of there with her. Unless I'm
For sure.
completely misreading him,
No, I agree with you. But again, I still think he's going to mess around in Casa more to say, oh, yeah, I did that. But look, we were able to overcome it. And for him to get that one, let's have my fun before I get serious, out of his system.
Yeah.
But we shall see. It's going to be so interesting.
So interesting. So, okay, what are your predictions going into the next week? What do you kind of imagine or hope is going to happen?
Less drama with Melanie and Sincere. I would just like to see them in a stable place for a moment. Yeah. Although I'm kind of hoping someone sweeps her off her feet in Casa more. I don't know why. Just because I don't like the way that Sincere was treating her for the last week, even though I didn't like her actions in week 1, but he surpassed her horrible reactions. Yes. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know. I see a lot of couples crumbling. And heaven forbid, I hope Melanie does not find out that Kenzie was lying to her about Corbin and her, making out behind their back. So I don't know. It'll be so interesting to see.
What do you think about Trinity and Bryce?
At first I was all here for that, and I really thought they were both equally into each other. However, during that last not challenge, but where they wrote the letters to each other, I felt like in that moment he was going through the motions. He looked dead in the eyes when he was reading it, almost like he felt bad that he was going along with it. But I don't feel like he knows how to not go along with it. So I feel like he's one of the ones that is definitely going to couple up with somebody else in Casa more. And not because he doesn't like her and what she offers. I just think he's interested elsewhere, though.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's a relationship of convenience. Like they're a safe space for each other, but I don't feel any true chemistry or romance between them. Like I think, you're in that place and you get swept up in it. Like, oh my God, we have big feelings for each other. But I think they might be just confusing friendship. Like I think they could be great friends, but I don't really feel like, and they could be, great allies and supports for each other in there, but it doesn't feel like this like relationship, I
agree. I think he's trying to be like, oh, can we be like Nick and Alondria? Because it's kind of giving me those vibes from last season, which was, the winning couple. So I could see him maybe trying to be with her because there's a lot of similarities there, but he's going to jump ship.
Yeah. And I actually think, just kind of reading him a little bit from what we've seen, I don't know how much confidence he really has. Like, I feel like he is actually a bit of a shy guy. He's been a model, but I don't think you see the confidence that Corbin has when he steps into a room and when he's talking to a girl, and when, I'm not saying I love it, but you can fully see this guy carries himself like he knows he's hot shit and he knows he can get a girl. And I think Bryce is like unsure about himself, and he's a bit sort of like kind of quirky, and doesn't like fully know how to, he's not even like Trinity has asked for more affection, and you never see them like lounging together and really like building that physical connection together. It's just they do kiss on the lips, but it's not like hot and heavy. It doesn't feel like there's any flirting going on whatsoever. It's just kind of like this stagnant kind of friendship that would be really confusing, I think, for Trinity. But maybe she's also holding out for something better to come along and just kind of knowing she's safe in this connection for now.
I think she would give more, but again, she's expressed over and over, I need XYZ for you, and you're not even giving me X.
Yeah.
So I think she would give more. And it's kind of wild that he is like that, because I do think he is the oldest male out of all the Islanders too.
I think Gabriel is in his 30s. Am I wrong?
Oh.
Or does he just
remember?
Look older? I feel like in the back of my mind he's like mid 30s even, potentially.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I did all their profile cards, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
It might have actually been your episode that I heard that. When you did the cast breakdown?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like
I just can't remember right now. The oldest
one. Yeah. But still, Bryce is like 29 or 30, and, he needs to step it up for sure. Okay. So there's a lot coming soon. So what you're telling me is this is the tip of the iceberg with Love Island, and it is just going to get better and better.
And you don't even know about movie night either.
I know nothing. Oh my God. Okay, Danielle, I think as my Love Island interpreter, I may have to ask you to come back as we get deeper into the season.
I would gladly.
I think I'm going to have a lot more questions as I try to navigate this landscape. I may have to pull you for a chat.
Just let me know.
All right, Danielle. Well, where can people find you? How can they support you? What can they do to hear all your things?
Well, you can follow me on all socials at Dani Gossip Girl. Additionally, on Instagram, you can follow The Villa Download, which is my podcast, which is on, I go live typically every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, because that is the one day Love Island is off. So that's just the day I always kept it going.
Clever.
And you can follow The Villa Download also wherever you listen to podcasts.
Amazing. Well, I will put the links to all of that in the show notes so you don't have to go scrambling, guys. Make sure you're following and rating and reviewing all of Danielle's things. And thank you so much again. This has been
my
so
pleasure.
Much fun.
Thank you for having me. Loved your show for a long time. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to talk to you again.
Likewise. Take care.